All right, we are live. So we'll just give it a minute here because you can't go late on StreamYard or you've got to start the whole thing over. And it's a pain. Oh, then my phone goes off. Oh, that was my phone saying that I was going live.
Oh, well, that's good. We
Hey.
are live. Hey. So
Yeah, well, we'll just give it a couple minutes here because we said seven or eight, I mean.
we have a
And
minute.
yeah, you have to go live there. But it's nice to see everybody, and hopefully everybody is having a good new year.
We have three
And
people watching with us. Please say
all right.
hi. There you are, Sue, ready to manifest. Hello,
Hi, Robin.
ladies. So
All
it's good to
right.
see
And this
everybody.
will be taped, so if you're watching it later, hi as well. But all right, give it another minute or so here. And yeah, so we've got some exciting things coming up, and you want to talk about? I mean, I put some stuff together to talk about
Shan.
manifesting. Hi, Shan. Because I just, it's that time of year, is it not? Hi,
Hi, Diane.
Diane. It's just that time of year to manifest
And
and to think about
Sherelle's on.
manifestation. Okay,
Yeah.
Cheryl.
Well,
And even New Year's resolutions, aren't those a type of manifesting?
I mean, in general, hi, kid. We're here kind of to talk about how we're helping people navigate that spiritual manifesting. What is it I want to learn? And maybe it's I just need to learn about different things.
Right.
So we're kind
Yeah.
of here tonight to go over a few things, some hints, talk
Yeah.
about some of the programs that IOTS is going to be offering coming up for very new beginners. People have been watching our pages. A lot of people are offering help and information in the beginning of this new year.
Mhm. Yeah.
We have Sue's class, we have Sandra's classes listed. I saw a thing about there's a lot of offerings out there. So we thought, hi Marie, we thought we'd just go over some of the things that we're doing
Yeah.
and helping you build your brilliance.
Yes. And
You
the
know,
thing of it I'm going to start with is I'm just going to go over just some general manifesting things that, and it's not about teaching you how to manifest because everybody watching, I'm going to assume, already has their own manifestation practice. So this isn't to replace it, this is to enhance it. And if you're already doing these things, then it's just a good reminder of what you're doing and how, it's going to help you. So just a couple tools, just general tools for manifesting in general. And then we are going to talk about, how intuition of the soul and some of the offerings that we have are going to help you manifest your life
right?
as well.
Because we have some really new general things coming up in our schedule. We have our book club that is next month will be Daphne. The following month, Sandra Pelly's book, and then Sue Senden's book.
Yeah.
Following in April, we're going to be highlighting different members so that
Member
you can hear
spotlights. We're
member
going to start
spotlight,
that. That's
so that we can
awesome.
have folks come on and learn about their practices and how they are going through their awakening.
Hmm.
We ourselves have 3 classes between us that are going to be happening, and plus we're always here to help anyone else. So
And don't forget our wonderful, wonderful bi-weekly. Most of the time, we have two presenters in a month that come on with their
always that
brilliance
part.
and their knowledge, and we glean so much from them. At least I know I do, speaking for
Uh,
myself.
always have those other people that come on. I'm starting to echo
Mhm.
again. This month we have Corinne, actually both coming for us from England. Corinne is coming to talk about connection therapy and how we work and human beings connect. And we have the amazing Susan Kennard coming at the end of the month to talk about how you boost your own brilliance and awakening. And next month we have another psychic medium coming on, and we also have Jay Swed, who is a sound healer. He's going to be coming on.
Oh,
So
yeah. And we'll make sure that we put up some things that give you schedules as well as the book club as well, so that because we know we tell you these things and it's hard to remember, so we'll make sure that
So
you put
I will make the commitment. It will be up by Friday, which is
that's
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yes, but at least
Oh,
it will have the book club on it, and it will have a January schedule. There's one possibility in February. That's why I haven't put out February, March, and April because we're you know s
yeah.
people
Well, I
volunteer
think
their
that's a
time.
good start.
Yeah.
Just put January's and then in February we can put February's. All right.
So February will be the kickoff of the full schedule. That will be, and
Yeah.
we're hoping, with the help of one of our members who's watching, actually, that we get that calendar up, and so that people can access it
Hint,
and
hint.
sync their calendars. Hint, hint. And we have, just so you know, Kate, we're in WordPress.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Yeah.
so,
Shout out. Woohoo. All
woohoo. All
right.
right. So let's start boosting, you
All
know,
right.
that rocket boosting our brilliance. Here we go.
I just love that, boosting our brilliance. So let's talk about some of the things that, some things that we think about when we're trying to manifest, and that may not help us stay in that flow. And so I'm going to just cover a few of those, and I've got some slides to show you because maybe I'm an overachiever. I don't know, but I'm a visual learner as well. So it helps me to see something visually as well as hear it. Those are my two, my two modes of learning. And of course, as a teacher, prior teacher, that just goes right with it. So the first thing I want to say is that there's no lack in the universe. Sometimes when we have doubts that come in and things that come in that kind of block our manifesting, our limits that we put on ourselves, or limits that we put on what we think we can manifest by maybe what's in the universe. And there is no limits to the universe and what you can manifest. There is no like finite set of, oh, well, we can only have, this many new businesses, or, there can only be 17 millionaires a year, or whatever it is. There's no lack in the universe. It's infinite. There's so many different possibilities for you. So the limits that we put on our manifesting are put on by us and not because of the universe. And another thing I just want to say is that your receiving something does not deprive someone else of receiving. So sometimes we think, oh, well, maybe I'm asking for too much, or if they send this to me, maybe then Kitty's not going to get it, or if Kitty gets it, maybe I won't get it. There's no truth to that either. So
Is,
it's
isn't that called a scarcity mentality?
yes, or lack. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of. So yeah, so remember that you're receiving something does not deprive someone else of receiving. And if you can stay in that space of, I'm so excited that Kitty received this, and show joy and support for the other people, I mean, that's a good vibration to have.
Can
So
I
in
can I share a story?
sure.
So somebody who's on here right now was very excited about what happened with me, having to do with a big sale and kinds of things. And honestly, within 24 hours, they may have found themselves in the exact same situation. That's that part of manifesting. When I tap in for other people, I multiply it for myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another point I want to make is if you are already, I'm sure all of you have your practice for manifestation. And if you are creating the results you want, then absolutely, we're not trying to tell you how to manifest. We just want to share you a couple tools maybe that we've used that kind of has enhanced our practice. So, I just want to say that because I want to make sure that, we aren't saying this is the only thing you do. These are just a couple of tools to enhance that. So for me, and when I'm talking, I'm speaking for me, and Kitty will speak for her when she needs to. But manifesting is all about staying in that receiving mode. And I've been practicing a lot on that allowing those things that I need to have come into my life to help manifest, staying in that vibration of allowing. And when you're manifesting and staying in that receiving mode, you need to be there before, during, and after the thing that you're trying to manifest, before it appears. So staying in the receiving mode is a constant thing that helps you if you can stay in there and stay in that vibration. And so I have two suggestions that I kind of looked at that I was thinking that that could help you make an impact on your manifestation. And of course, again, I'm a nerdy teacher, so sorry guys. I just that's just who I am.
No,
And
you're not
so
sorry.
I'm not
I'm
sorry.
embracing it.
But I always
Yeah.
give these little title things. So the first one is recognize and rethink your doubt. And I'm going to give you more information on that. But recognize and rethink your doubts. Okay? And the second one is joy now, manifest later. Okay? And I'm going to go into those so you'll understand them. But that's just how I do it. We'll kind of look at them separately, but they're definitely interconnected. So we'll look at that as well. All right. So we're going to look at recognize and rethink your doubt. So I have a slide. Here we go. And so the first thing to help you with your manifestation is to get a really, really clear picture of what you want to manifest. Don't make it wobbly. Don't go, well, I kind of like this, but I don't know. Should I really do that? No, you need a clear, solid plan of what you want. So to help you solidify that picture of what it is you really want to manifest, we look at contrast. And what I mean by that is the first thing you want to do is say, what don't you want? And then that helps you understand and lead to what do you want? Okay. What do I want to manifest? If you're in that wobbly state. So, for instance, if you want to manifest a new job and you're currently in one, so think about those things about your current job that maybe you don't want. Like maybe you don't want to work a 9 to 5. Maybe you want flexible hours. Maybe you want to work at home. So then you can get a solid or more clear picture of what you do want when you contrast it with what you don't want. I hope that makes sense. So to look at, what is it that you don't want to help you make a clear picture of what you do want. All right. So then when I'm talking about recognize and rethink your doubts, let me get to my next slide. All right. So you're going to recognize doubt and then you're going to rethink your doubt. The first thing that you need to do is you need to ask yourself, how does that feel when that doubt comes in? So how are you feeling about that? How does that make you feel? So if you have a doubt that comes in and it makes you feel uncertain or anxious, like it's not going to happen, or you're doing something wrong, or you don't deserve it, how does that make you feel? And to really get into what that is that you're feeling. Are you feeling that because you don't think you're worthy? Are you feeling like that because you don't think you deserve it? So when you can really get into recognizing how that doubt is making you feel, then you can rethink it. Because what you need to do with doubt is you need to change that vibration. Because if you are in that place of doubt, then you are not in the flow. You are not in that receiving mode. You're not feeling optimistic. You're not feeling joyful because you are in that insecure, uncertain, anxious type of mode. And you're not going to be able to receive the things that you need to manifest when you're in that vibration of doubt. So really ask yourself, what is it that I'm feeling and kind of why am I feeling this? That's the first step, because if you can do that, then you can rethink it and you can change that thinking. All right, let me give you an example here. Maybe this will help. So, what if you say, I want to be a card reader? I want to read cards. I want to do this. This is something that I've, maybe like to go and go on YouTube or something like this. Um, so you have that idea of what you want to do, and then you start doubting it. Well, there's so many card readers out there. There's just so many of them. Do I really want to do this? You start to get that wobble feeling. Well, if you can say and rethink that, to change that thinking, to make that vibration go up, and say something like, well, yes, you know what? Maybe there is a lot of card readers out there, but do they read them like I do? Do they have my intuition? Do they interpret them like I do? No, probably not. So you can change that thinking to raise that vibration and say, yeah, there's a lot of people out there. But then the scarcity thing Kitty was saying, or that lack thing, don't bring that in and just say, there are, but there's not. There's nobody out there that does it like me. Change that thinking and then ask yourself, now how do I feel about that? Well, you know what? I'm feeling pretty good about that because there isn't anybody out there that does it like I do. So I'm okay because there's enough people that somebody is going to resonate with me and somebody's going to want to come and, hear how I interpret the cards. That's just an example. Um, Maybe you're thinking that you're asking too much. Is that about deserving? Again, is that scarcity? Is that lack? Is there just a small piece of pie and you want your piece? That type of thing too. So, how do you change that? No, you go and you say, there is no scarcity, there is no lack in the universe. So, that doubt can be, invalidated, if you will, to raise that vibration back up. Or if it's taking too long, there's divine timing. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe there's something else that has to come in before you can do that. So then you surrender. You surrender to the divine timing and say, hey, it's coming when it's supposed to come. So just to kind of recap, those doubts are going to come in because everybody has them. There's nobody perfect. There's nobody that hasn't practiced or accomplishes something without ever having a doubt. It's not possible. So this is a tool when it comes in for you to bring that vibration back up. Recognize how you're feeling, why you're feeling that way. And again, the contrast comes in. So if you're feeling insecure, don't you want to feel secure? The contrast can come into play as well. And change your thinking to bring that vibration back up. And then ask yourself too, how am I feeling? And if you're still feeling kind of doubt, well, then work on it a little bit more. Work on talking to yourself, so that you're feeling better about it. Okay, I'm going to take this one off and come back on for a minute. Okay, so this kind of leads me into my next little slide here, which is joy now, manifest later. Because when you're in that higher vibration, that's when things happen. That's when you're in the flow of receiving. You're in that receiving mode, and that's when things happen. So I created a flow chart. Again, nerdy teacher. So I created this flow chart. So when you're in that higher vibration, when you're in that place of receiving, and again, allowing, because you can be in that receiving mode and not necessarily allowing it to come in because of some type of block you might have. It might be, I don't know if I deserve this. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know, those doubts, those wounds, that Chiron, talking kiddies language now, that might be keeping you from really embracing it. So allowing it as good as putting it in the receiving mode. So now let me show you my little flow chart. Go back over here. And I call this my flow chart of the receiving mode. And the arrow is where we start. So when you are in that feeling of joy, now this can be any emotion that you will attach to this. Maybe you call it happiness, maybe you call it divine bliss. It doesn't really matter. That's semantics. I call it joy. So you can insert your word there. But when you are in that higher vibration of feeling joy in your life, you're feeling good. You're in that receiving mode, you're open, you're allowing for this to come in. That's when you get an inspired idea. Okay. That's when you're telling the universe, I'm ready. And you'll get this inspired idea. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, that sounds really good. So then the momentum builds, and you can see where the arrows go. You start to feel exhilarated. You start to feel that momentum of like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great if I had this? I mean, I can really see myself doing this, feeling this. This is just, this is just really great. And it builds, and you feel that exhilaration, and you start to actively feel that joy. Now, this is really, really important because when you're in, again, that joyful mode, you're in that flow. And if I can quote Abraham Hicks, they say emotion, and I would call it joy, but emotion is an early part of manifestation. So you have to have that joy. And this is where I talked about that before, during, and after part of feeling in that manifestation. So when you're feeling that joy, you're actively feeling that joy. Then if you keep going around my flow chart, that's when that law of attraction comes in, and those people and the resources and those opportunities just start flowing and showing up, because you are in that receiving mode and you're allowing that. So these things start happening. You talk to your neighbor and they say, I want to buy your house. Duh, that happened, Kitty and Sue, maybe. I mean, it's just like, that's when those things happen, when you're in that actively feeling joy about what it is you're trying to manifest. Okay. And then the manifestation happens. Boom. You've been in that receiving mode. It shows up. You've been holding on to that joy. It's almost like you've been practicing that joy before, during, and then boom, here it is. But it's going to be magnified so much more than what you were holding on to, because it's actually here.
And that's so important to understand, because as you held that joy, you were already manifesting. It was already yours. And even if it didn't look the way you thought it looked or sound the way, even if it didn't bring you all the way to what your final manifestation, it brought you farther along to maybe readjust that too.
Yeah,
That's
that's a really good point.
that's really important, because you held the emotion. You started with the feeling, saw the feeling, and it went all the way around.
And that reminds me of another point too, because some of we all use visualization. We think about using our senses. What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? All those senses that you use. But the biggest one is feeling. For me, the biggest one is feeling. So if you can stay in that sense of joy, and as if, staying in that feeling of as if, okay, then when it comes, it's going to be magnified. There's your manifestation. Now here's where you stay and you hold that joy of that manifestation, and you start the whole process all over again, because you're already in that joy, and now you're on the top of the flow chart again,
Mm-hmm.
where you are open enough that you're going to get another inspired idea, because we're not one and done. We're not going to be like, well, this is all I ever wanted and I'm going to get it, and now I'm never going to want for anything the rest of my life. That's not how we're built. So that's why it's really important, when I was talking about the before, the during and the after. Because if you're staying in that mode of joy, then you're open for receiving, and another inspired idea comes through, and you go through the process again. And the beautiful thing about is now you know that how to do that. You know where that joy is. You can use it for other manifestations. You can use that feeling, and you can go, okay, now I know what I need to do. And it's just a flow chart. It just keeps going, through all the processes and opening you up for the next thing that wants to come through. So if I'll just recap really quick, and then I'm going to hand it over to Kitty to talk about how she manifests using the energy of the stars and the planets. But you got to stay in that feeling of joy before. And then you get that inspired idea. And then you build up that momentum, holding that joy as if it's already here, actively feeling that joy, allowing those people, those resources, those opportunities to flow into you to create that manifestation, holding on to that joy because now it's here 10 times magnified, and you're back up at the top where you're open for another inspired idea. That's what I call joy now, manifest later. And again, these aren't new concepts. You guys have probably do some of these. So if nothing else, it's just a good affirmation that if you are doing this, then you're on the right track. So add some of those things. Be able to recognize and rethink your doubts, and then hold the joy before, during, and after to open yourself and keep yourself in that receiving mode. So now I'm handing it over to my partner, Kitty.
And thank you, Amy. That was an amazing overview of kind of our year's goals, looking at what kinds of tools. Amy will be talking soon about her Empowering the Healer Within course, because that might be what you're talking about manifesting. How do I go about that? How do I empower? There's a few of you on here. One of the things I offer is, as an astrologist, I help you study your own energies. And when you ask that question, what do you want? First of all, for some people, that's not so easy, is it? They don't really know what they want. They don't know what it is they want to manifest. And they'll say things, well, I want. Well, you've already accomplished your manifestation when you use I want, because you've accomplished the wanting. And so what we do in the optimized class that we offer is to take your own chart, your own archetypes, your own ways of looking at things, and help you pull them apart and look at, is that Chiron that's activated when I'm working and holding this joy and that little niggling comes up and says, nah, you're not worthy. Oh, wait a minute. Why does that thought, is that a part of me? Because it's a part of an energy I'm working on manifesting healing. So one of the things we look at is, what are those things that keep us out of that joy loop, that keep us from always in the wanting or the needing versus seeing that I actually already have it? How do I look at those synchronicities? What kinds of elements? So we use the chart, and we use an acronym ASK to answer, seek, knowledge. Ask yourself, why am I put together this way? What are my energies? How are they talking to each other? And allowing those energies to help you kind of match that divine timing. We look at actually the cycles of the stars that are happening for all of us. And if it's a month like it is right now about larger structures, maybe I put out more manifestations about a bigger structure change. When it's the time of Virgo, when it's about the little parts, maybe I put the little parts. But then I look at my own chart and say, oh, wait a minute, those guys have a great conversation going. How do I work on those things? I really loved both of your, they're not nerdy, they're wonderful visuals, because we talk about visualizing. Can I see it? Can I smell it? Can I touch it? Can I feel it? And see it as already done. I have this energy. I came into the world with these planets and these energies to learn about them. Since I have them, I have the answers. and I have what I want to manifest. I hold the joy as we go through. I mean, I'm surprised myself, and all of us have been in the class, how fast things start to come. And Amy, it's so important what you said about joy, because sometimes when we're holding it, we get a different picture and we go, oh, wait a minute, I'm fine tuning what
Mhm.
I asked for. Or I realize I already have this. This is actually what I want to look at. So, one of the reasons we started Optimize as an astrologer was if I have a better picture of what my energies are, I'm better able to fine tune my manifestation. And so that's what Optimize with the Moon and Stars is about. So if that's something you really want to kind of dig into yourself, looking at manifestation, that's something we offer. Amy has a course, which I'm going to throw back now over to her, called Empowering the Healer Within. And that's about manifestations too. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yes. My course is Wake Up Your Purpose Transformative Technique to
Mm-hmm.
Healing. And basically, what it is about is, it's not about necessarily finding your purpose, because a lot of us on here kind of already know or have an idea of where our purpose is at. But it's about asking, why don't you have it then? Why isn't it there for you then? And so we take a look at what's holding you back, and I refer to them as roadblocks. What is in the way that is keeping you from driving on down that path of your purpose? So we kind of look back at behaviors, beliefs, things that kind of cropped up in childhood that we are still holding on to about our abilities and about our ability to take a risk specifically. Because a lot of times, even though you might say, I know that I want to do this, and it's all said and good and it's great, but it's about taking a risk. And that's not always easy for people,
No.
especially if sometimes it hasn't worked out or they're unsure if it's going to work out. So we look at what is holding you in place. How can we remove those roadblocks so we can send you on your way? So that's the first part of the course, is looking at that and really doing some digging a little bit deeper about what behaviors, thoughts, beliefs are holding me in place. And we ask questions, very pertinent questions like, do I still believe that? And so I want you to just think about that. Think about something that you were told as a child, even something. So I always use silly examples like you had to put sugar in your corn on the cob to make it sweet. Well, I'm sure I've had corn on the cob and it wasn't sweet, but I always have always done that. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's something you've always done because you were told to do it, and it's a generational thing. So we look at that. Is this a generational belief, or is this still your belief? And if it's
Mm-hmm.
not your belief, then what do you believe? And then the second part of the course is really solidifying what you want, making a plan, baby steps, and just saying, okay, no, you've got to make a commitment. You have to tell other people, oh my gosh. And, not that they're going to hold you accountable, but you have to just be able to tell it to the universe, tell other people, make some steps, take some steps. So by the time you leave, you at least are making some steps if you haven't made some already. And I don't know, Kitty, what else can I say? That's kind of like the course in a nutshell.
Well, and that's why we both looked at how do we help empower people that to heal within, that empowering to, maybe it's I need to look at my roadblocks and why I haven't got my purpose because I'm pretty sure of what it is. Maybe I want to look at my energies and kind of figure out why I have my quirks. How do I manifest what I want and use the energy, read the energies better in the universe? So, as Amy and I were talking about these two courses, since day one on IOTS, we've had one course in mind that we're very excited about, and that is It's going to be called Boosting Brilliance, and it's Spirit 101. And though many of you out there have practices that you know and you've been exploring all this, there's also a whole group out there of people that are like, yeah, I don't really have a practice. Yeah, I really don't know what you're talking about with energy. Yeah, I really don't know really about the spiritual. How do I tie that spiritual into my everyday life? And there are some practices, there are some ethics, there are some ways you can approach people that are really kind of basic that Amy and I both talked about. I wish there was something we could have studied and looked at and had discussions about, because we oh, look, I think we have our first troll.
Oh,
Isn't that cool? A new first. I think we have our first troll, huh? On
our first,
YouTube.
oh, they sent a video. Don't play it.
Yeah, don't. No, no, that means just YouTube.
Oh, that
Um,
means YouTube. Okay, sorry.
yeah, because Mary's the one that taught us that and Optimize when it has
Oh,
the dot,
okay.
that it's usually a troll. So cool. But anyway, this so we really have always talked about Spirit 101 for a long time, helping people establish practices. How do you look at beliefs? We both have courses that look at beliefs, but
Mhm.
how do I really look at them? How do
Well,
I learn to let
Katie,
go?
we did it trial by fire, right?
Oh
Like
yeah, and
something
that's
would come up and we'd go, well, what do we do there? And what's that? And we'd figure it out between the two of us, or we'd ask for some help, or we'd go to someone to help us. So we want this to be about, no, we want to give you those basics if you don't have them. And we want to strengthen those. So because
things.
like I said, we was trial by fire. We just kind of like,
Well,
oh,
and
okay.
we were both very blessed that we hadn't learned some of the basic things about like how you protect yourself, how you contact guides, how you do that. It was, we spent a lot of time and we learned from a lot of people that are out there, but we want to make that faster because we are working on a new earth and we really do feel
Oh,
that here. That's why we wanted to create this sacred space. So we
mhm.
finally are plunging in and we're going to do our Spirit 101 class. So for many people
Ooh.
out there watching it, we know you may be above the 101 level, but you all know people who really could use
Oh
like
yeah,
a little boost to help organize,
it'll
look at
help.
protection, all of those things. And so, you know,
Thank
um,
you, Kat. Thank you, Kate.
yeah, Kate and Kat both. When I was there, it was a wonderful course. And Optimize is still open. We're going to be going on and on. But so the Spirit 101 class is going to begin in February. We'll be putting it out, boosting your brilliance, Spirit 101. So if you have
Mhm.
somebody who's asking you those questions, or you notice that this is a way to help them kind of jump more in with both feet and not be blown away by energies and
Sure.
healings and what do all these things do. We're going to be talking about vocabulary, protection,
Sure.
basics with crystals, how I look at where I spend my time, how do I
Mhm.
incorporate. So, all those things that took many of us here a really long time. So,
Yeah.
watch for that.
I love
And
that. I think it's going to be amazing, and it's for you or for somebody, and we don't know. There's a lot of people out there that we haven't really made a personal contact with, and some of the new people out there, and we would love to have you come. And we're going to offer a special incentive too, like a discount. And I'm doing that with my class as well. There's if you bring someone with them, you get a discount on it that can either be used by you or shared between the two of you. So
we're
if you're
going to be.
interested, let me know. And mine's going to start in February as well. I'm trying to
Do,
think.
do you have your date? I didn't write your date
I
down.
do think I have my date. I'm just looking. Okay, I'm going to start mine February 2nd, which is on a Wednesday, and it's going to start at 8 o'clock and go to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. What? Oh,
Go
and
ahead.
then, but if for some reason you need a more flexible schedule, I also have my class on Udemy. You can take that if you're a self-starter. You can take that, and most of the content is on there. The only thing that's missing is just that interactive piece where you can talk to other people, but that's always an option for you to do that as well.
And
What else? Mhm.
we're coming up on our last 2 months of the first 6 months of Optimize. So we're going to be offering some different tiered Also, specials for people who stay in. And
Mhm.
what they want to do if they bring someone new on board. And yes, Joanne, we did think it was perfect timing. So much of 2022, this sixth vibration, is
Oh,
about awakening. And it's not going to be like, it's not the rain, as we all know, it's not rainbows and unicorns and everything is beautiful. So this is a good time to ask people to come in. Um,
mhm.
yes, Kate, Amy has posted the link, but she will post it again, and we'll
I
put it
will
on
do that.
the notes of
Mhm.
the this video. We'll post the optimize, but we will be sending out the boosting your brilliance.
Yeah.
It's going to start. I think we're starting that mid February, just
Mhm.
because Amy's got her course starting, um,
Mhm.
and we are very very excited.
Yeah, there's so many great things going on.
It's going to be before the right before the spirit communication class on Tuesdays, is what we talked about doing, right?
Yes, for Spirit 101, yeah.
Spirit
Because then
and
maybe
what
we can entice some of those people to come to Spirit Communication if they're interested.
and
No,
what we're
I
going
mean,
to
we have great turnouts every week. It's just fun to have new
so
people.
it's going to be a 3 to 4 session class, but it's every other week with a supportive Zoom in between. So it's also about people trying things and having a chance to get together and talk
Yeah.
about it.
And
So
and I want to put a plug in for Kitty's Optimize too, because I mean, I've learned so much about that. And I am, and maybe this is just me, but the more I know about how I work in this world, how things work for me, and Optimize has taught me so much about myself that it's even enhances everything else I do as well. And it enhances your manifestation. If you know that there's something going on in the planets or the stars, or there's something about your chart, it's very telling of maybe why some of these things, or why you might be having more trouble manifesting, or why you're a great manifester. There's just that's a really good course too. The more you know about yourself, I think the better. So
yeah,
that's a
and
beautiful course
and
as
here
well.
at IOTS we attend each other's classes. I go to
Yeah,
Amy's,
me
she
too.
goes to mine. And so, because we really believe none of us are the experts, we're all
Right.
here. All of our classes have been about a group. We appreciate the people who've come
Yes,
to us at
very much.
Optimize. I appreciate the people that were in Amy's class because we all bring a piece of knowledge. And,
Mhm.
so it is
Yeah,
really important that we all stay here and support each other. And there's
that's
a
right.
lot of expertise. We've got experts on here. We got Joanne. We've got Kat,
Oh,
who's doing
yeah.
stuff with crystals. We have Kate, who God bless you, Kate, who's come to help us with some of the
And
techno stuff.
Robin, she has
And
her
Robin.
panel.
Oh yeah, and
Sue's got
Robin and
her
the
class
Alaskan light worker.
coming. It's
Yeah,
just,
and
yeah, it's just
Sue's got a
wonderful.
class on shadow work.
Hmm.
Ultimately, we hope that IOTS becomes a place for all of you to
Yeah.
have classes and meet each other and attend the classes. It might. Our goal is to get to the point where Amy and I don't have possibly enough time to attend classes because we're so busy
Mm, no,
going to
no,
everybody
no.
else's.
Because here is our nerdy IOTS motto. If you're not learning, or when you stop learning, you stop living. Or what's that quote you said, Kitty, the other day?
Well, that we said we're going to add it to our thing.
Yeah.
When you're not learning, yeah, it is. When you're not learning, you're not alive. You're not living anymore.
Okay. All
So
right.
I actually said that to my 92-year-old father, who said,
Okay, so
"Well,
we just kind of mucked that one up, but you know what we
but
mean. You know
yes,
what we're saying.
yes, yeah, when you're not
When you stop
learning, you've stopped
learning, you're no
living.
longer living.
You're no longer
Something.
living." Yeah, that's. I actually said that to my father, who said to me one day, "Well, I'm old." I said, "Look, Dad, if you're not learning, you're not living."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, and
And
so
yeah.
it's who we are. But this is about spaces to learn.
Yeah, it is. And we so appreciate each and every one of you for just supporting us when we come on, and coming to our classes and going to each other's classes. And we just love you all. There's just so much love to go around in 2022. My motto, best year ever to date, expect miracles, and I cannot fail. And I want that for all of you as well.
And I'm faith, prosperity, joy, That's for the manifesting and magic. We're here for magic. And
Yeah.
of course,
Oh,
here at IOTS, we are blissfully bridging people. That's
yes.
what we're
Okay.
here to do.
All right,
So,
guys. We love you. We will talk to you soon. Anything else? Any parting words, Miss Kitty?
no, just watch for posters and we'll get the calendars up. And I'm echoing. And
Wow, wow,
uh,
wow, wow, wow.
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, and we'll see you at Vibe of the Week.
All right.
So,
Bye, guys.
bye, everyone.
Aloha.
Aloha oi until we meet again.
All right.
Bye.